Okay, so I should have 1 and 2. Okay, so did I manage to do that with you guys? So you've been live. Okay. Can you see that? Or am I... Okay, where is the chat? Okay, so I have a 1 and a 2. So somehow I've linked into it, but I'm not too sure. We're going to end this stream, but I'm going to still be linked in somehow. Okay, so we're going to switch this. I'm going to end this one, but the other one is all signs. I might have to jump over to the other one. I'm hoping that this won't... Oh, it did unlink it. Shit. Okay, so I had to go to a different feed. Okay, so I'm going to just go get my charger. All right. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see that better. We're going to set this up so it's over here. Okay. Now, this is the fun part. Okay. I don't want to use that keyboard. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand it there. Okay, there you go. Is that better? Okay. Bang, bang, here we go. Alright, so we can just maneuver this way now. Alright, so there's the dream catchers. They are all for sale. I am working on some new ones. So back on track is what we're doing here. Alright, so we're going to start with, we did a cleanse earlier, slightly in one of the other ones. So I'm not going to do another smudge. I've got my bright candles going. This is the color of the new dream catcher that's going to be up. These are the colors that are going to be going into it. Gunmetal gray, baby blue, and white. So that's the new little 4-inch one that I'm working on. Like the San Jose sharp colors. You know, so this will be a traditional, I'm going to do this one traditional hanging. You know, so I have been busier than I thought, but not really busy, like I'm running my head. Like, cut it off, put it somewhere, and just let me go. Just make sure you tell me what to do before you take my head, so my body can continue doing the job that I can't do, right? Head on a stick? No. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do the cloud card today. I think that I really want to get used to using those cards, because they are a little bit more in depth, at least then start learning how they kind of come out. So we're going to do some introspection tonight. We're going to look introspectively at our lives, just to get, you know, kind of a base to maybe start with, right? You know what I mean? Oh, okay. Here we go. So we can actually go to the computer. Okay, so now we're gonna get into this. See, I don't know how I was able to link it last time, but I think this is how I did it. I had to go from my um, from my um, from my actual computer, right? So we're gonna just get started here. I just wanted to get some meditation music going here. Let's see. But yeah, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna put on some nice, relaxing smudging music. I don't know what I have in that. I have not even checked my playlist. I wanted to get all my videos sorted into like little groups, right? So where is my remote now? Yeah, that's what my Google Assistant has playing for me, saying that I'm supposed to be in bed already. It's 8:30. Time for me to do my bedtime routine, so I should be in bed right now listening to this crickets in the background. Nature sounds. This is really going to put me to sleep? No, it wouldn't. It would just drive me insane. It would drive me just mad. Mad crazy. Um, oh, I think my volume is down. Okay. Press that, plug in, that, plug in. Okay. So what do we got going on here? What's happening? Okay. What's going on, people? I don't know why this is got no sound. It doesn't have any sound. What the hell, man? Alright, okay. I want that Google Assistant to stop that. Seriously. Okay, Google. Don't tell me that's going to be going all freaking day. Okay, we're turning that down a bit because I don't want to listen to crickets. I don't want to hear crickets. No crickets. Okay, so here we go. I turn that down a bit because it picks it up pretty good with the Android phone, so I don't really even have to have it that loud, which is kind of awesome. So this is Native American music. It's called Between Father Sky and Mother Earth, and it's done by Moteka Roots. And her outlook is, you are never alone. You are eternally connected with everyone. One race, many cultures, one place united. We stand divided, we fall. Inside each of us there are eagles that want to soar, and there's a hippopotamus that want to wallow in the mud. We are between Father Sky and Mother Earth. We are connected no matter what we are or what we believe. We are still really created from the same love. We are one. See, isn't that nice to hear some motivational stuff that just makes you want to be more, what do you call, more closer with different cultures and learning more about different cultures. Um, it's great to know different cultures, but the one part that I really have an issue with is the sacred traits and native traditions that we have that so many people want to adapt into their lives, when some of the stuff is actually seriously sacred for us to have understanding of it first before we show it to someone else. That's why I love hanging out, with elders or people that, listening to videos on YouTube about the native culture, that I wasn't raised in. I wasn't raised with native roots. I was raised with a Caucasian family when I was adopted at the age of 2. I never knew anything about my family. I knew that my mother had 6 other children. Very basic, very generalized information was given to me when I turned 18. I did go and pursue them and found them 10 years later through the adoption registry in Alberta. So I ended up meeting my family, and unfortunately it was kind of, a lifestyle that they were in, that's all they knew, that they were brought up in. And it's a very depressing situation when you look at it and at the whole, right? You have band members that are requesting to have And what you can do, they have a lot of options, but they only give the options to certain people that live within the band. There's favoritism. It's a very corrupt band office or band level of level of trust and information. While the person that's running as chief is living it up in his nicely built home that he's requested for the band to do for him, for his office, whatever, for being in office. The money management has gone right to shit. They don't even know how to manage the money properly. Apparently, we bought into a casino here in BC, but nobody's ever seen any revenue from it, and joined partnership with an investor. We haven't seen nothing in return to that. It's all just being, kind of milked and taking away from us, but not returning anything back, right? So it's like the saying goes, take what you need and only what you need. What else will come will be supplied as a want and a blessing, right? So you will always receive what you need based on that request, right? So I talk about it, I iterate that a lot in my videos about be careful what you wish for because it might just come true. Like Freaky Friday almost sometimes, where you're switching places with people. And I do that a lot. I switch my different outlooks on things differently than most would. Like I'm very still, because regardless of what level of caste or religion or whether you be a homeless person on the street or somebody with the $1 million home, we all still can end up being empty regardless. But I find that when you're looking through the eyes of God and you're able to see everything for what it is and acknowledge it, that you're no different than them. They're just a bit hard, on a different path that they haven't awoken to their possibilities, and they're kind of just down on themselves, right? So I usually try, intermingle with them and get them to know that they're not the only one going through it, that there's a lot of people that have the same situation. The sad part that I find though is they're not receptive. They don't want anything. They want absolute nothing to be given to them in life. They don't want to even have assistance given to them. They really want to just die there, and it's unfortunate. It's very sad that people are brought so far in their lives, so far down in their lives, that they have no hope, no dreams, but there's still a twinkle in their eye. When you talk to them, there's still a human being that deserves direction, that deserves to have something to believe in, because there's so much falling away, with all this controversies and this conspiracy theory stuff. People don't know what to believe anymore, but it's nice to allow somebody to have something to believe in, a source truth that's out there that so many of us are dying to find, but it's right inside of you, right? That truth, that finding your truth. And this kind of music just brings out the best in me. There's nothing wrong with it. My partner doesn't like it as much, but I could live listening to this all day long. And I used to do that when I was making dream catchers. I would put on my native music, just crank it, and just listen to it, because it is upbeat. It doesn't have any influential meaning behind it, Oh, and the white and blacks, you meaning the officers or whatever, they don't, but where I come from, we have a lot of criminal activity, and we're well known internationally as a city. I live in Surrey, BC, and, the city now has finally been taking steps. I was actually live almost 4 years ago with the MLA for my city on a radio talk show host. And I was one of the guest speakers there, and she was talking about mental health and drug and addictions, and how we don't have enough beds. And this was shortly after a little girl was found in a gasoline station's bathroom, overdosed, and she was only, I believe, 17 or 16. And so I went on and spoke about it, saying that we're stuck in the stigmatism, and we're so stuck in it that we don't feel like we can even breathe, because we're so bogged down with society's cues and no hope. Like nobody even would cast an eye to somebody living on the street. If somebody came up and asked me, I needed to borrow $2 to get on a bus, if you take that $2 and go and spend it on drugs or booze or whatever you want to take, and use it for. And once it leaves my hand, I'm not in control of that anymore. That $2 that I've handed him is now in his pocket. What he so chooses to do with that free will of that $2 is he's either going to use it for what he says it for, or he's going to use it for something else, right? I just like the honesty, because I know probably 75% of them probably take it and they're short on buying drugs or whatever and use it to buy more, right? But that's the biggest thing. We have an epidemic drug problem on our hands with the fentanyl up here. And, I'm not saying that, drugs are a bad choice. Some people they do work wonders for. Um, but what they're doing is not being able to heal, to be able to have the understanding of that um, altered level or altered space that you get into when you actually use the drug. You're misusing the information, and you're not using it for the right purpose, right? So that's where the mistakes are going wrong. Some people can smoke weed, some people can smoke meth, some people can smoke heroin, and nothing happens. They look like functioning people. And then you get the ones where it doesn't work for, and they're all got sores and stuff, and that's medicine that's taking basically your essence from you and causing all this to break through the skin, because there's so much pent up energy that you don't even realize will burn holes in your body gradually. And if you're taking the wrong medicine, it'll speed it up even faster. Um, I used to be an addict. I was an addict for most of my life. I still have some things that I'm working towards to become 100% clear of using any intoxicants, right? Drinking, whatever it may be. And I'm finding it difficult not to have, my wine cooler, or, have a puff of a joint, or whatever it may be, right? I'm trying to transform into the person that I really truly believe that I can be. And that's the full-fledged shaman. And like I said, there's stuff that I'm still working on. Nothing happens overnight, but I have the knowledge and the wisdom, and am being given my gifts back from actually starting to smoke one of the most controversial drugs out there, um, and that was crystal meth. I used crystal meth up until about 3 months ago, and I've stopped. And I look the same that I did when I started smoking it. I look the same after doing it for 2 years. And you can see other people's um, profiles, and they just melt away. They're just like melting, in a big, medicine's not working. That's the wrong medicine for what you need. But to understand why you're using the medicine for an altered state. And I'm not going to lie, I would actually still smoke crystal meth every once in a while when I want to get into an altered state of mind. It's a hallucinogenic, just like DMT is. Marijuana does the same thing, alters your state of mind. So if you're using it in minimal doses, you should be able to be okay with doing altered state, so long as that's what you're only doing it for, that you don't have like a problem. I wouldn't recommend this to everybody, but there are certain people out there that this would probably work 100% for, and I'm very confident in building my dream is to build recovery houses for meth addicts and people that don't have immediate resources um, for them. Because a lot of places, when I was quitting, I found it very difficult to quit right like cold turkey, because I would get like the bone aches and the chills and everything else. So it would be like 4 days of like a living hell. It was almost like coming off heroin, I'm guessing, and that's what I was told, that it can be a very intense come off. So what I did was I lessened my usage every day, less and less and less and less, until I was basically down to nothing. Um, you know, I wasn't needing it as much. I wasn't wanting it as much. I was basically cleansing myself with my spirituality for the longest time. It took a long time for me to get that balance and to heal, so that I didn't find that I had to take drugs to mask it, right? I didn't want to mask, my my life. I was tired of masking myself, putting on a fake mask every time I would talk to somebody, just to appease them, and not looking at myself and looking where I needed to get my healing with, so that I can actually speak on that note. It took 4 years for me to actually go through the whole cycle, and you would never guess today that I was even an addict. I still like my coolers. It never goes away. It's a disease. It'll be always there. It could flare up anytime, but I try not to allow that to flare up. I try to, meditate through those really rough times. But it gets frustrating, it does, the other thing is I'm planning on moving away from the resident I live in. I think that would be a smart move for both of us, because it is like a party house. Everybody here, they party from the time they get off work until 1 2 in the morning. The living room's right above my bed, so I usually don't even go to bed till 1 or 2, right? Um, so it's just a party house every night. We gotta listen to music and drunken person, with their pool table above my living room. So even if you wanted to watch a movie, all you're hearing is pool cues hit the ground, thump, bump, like I want to listen to that. Let somebody else live with this, because I don't need it. I don't need the extra feeling that I get. Agitation. Right? It's not a good environment for me or my partner to be in. He doesn't want to be around an alcoholic anymore. He's spent his time around an alcoholic um, parent, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't even hardly drink himself, but he likes to tie one on every once in a while, which is fine. You gotta let loose sometime, right? Um, and so I just decided that I want to work towards being part of what I spoke to Sue Hamill. And I'll have to get that recording for you guys. Because I had spoken to her and I said, why is it that we're not using some of these empty office spaces or empty places that they've built and have just been taking up space for so many months? Since my kids were born, this place has been standing erected, and it was bought out by Chinese developers, but they never finished developing it. There's so much you could do with that whole building, that you could make it an addiction counseling center 100%. Be able to take in more, have it as some of the parties, like where you can actually reside or have a short term stay area, that somebody that may be wanting to get recovery and can't get into a place, that they have like a shift point, and it would be like a triage type to see what the needs are of that person that has an addiction. This is my dream. This is what I want to open up, when the donations and everything start coming in for people, putting it towards a better unit that's available to more people, and have like a triage type recovery center, which we don't have. We've got one, and it's got 3 cells in it, so it can only take three people that are under the influence at any given time. We need more than that. We need probably at least 100 more beds, or positions, or cubicles even, to put people in that seeking that assistance. But there's not enough resources for it. But there is, if I want to go and speak actually one day at the Parliament building and give them my details, and tell them how things need to change, and how we can possibly do it with these lands, that put them into foreclosure, buy them back, buy them at cheap cost, turn them, renovate them, put them into a recovery or support system shelter, which has numerous months of office space for so many more counselors. It's creating work. It's creating a job set for everybody, right? So that's what I am planning on wanting to fulfill my dream as a drug and alcohol counselor. That's why also I want to go back to school and become one, and learn more about other drugs that I haven't used. I haven't, you know, have the nerve to even want to, let alone mask myself anymore. I can sit down and actually have a glass of wine, have a nice dinner, and be satisfied with that. I can be happy having, a couple glasses of like hard liquor. I can't do more than a couple of glasses though. I can't. Things just go strange. I don't like it. So I've learned to adapt to my surroundings, but I don't want to be in that surrounding anymore. Like, it was great living here. You could party when you wanted to, crank your music, but I need more balance. I can't have all the up and down emotional fluxes that happen within this whole entire house, that is affected by the people that live upstairs, by the neighbors. Anything can fluctuate that energy. And when you have somebody that is a manipulative jerk, that would embarrass a mentally challenged person because you thought it was funny, and you're 40 something, and you thought it would be a funny joke to watch this poor gentleman looking for a lady that he had met, and said that it lived in the area. You made a total ass out of him, and you looked like the ass in the end. Like, that was uncalled for. But this is an ego mind that this person has. It doesn't even have a solid rock formation in that brain. All he's He's just ignorant. And unfortunately, I hate to call myself French after meeting this guy. He is French, and I will never want to ever declare myself as a French person that would know somebody like that, because that's just ignorant. It's not very sovereign for a French person to be disrespectful to any human being that's walking up or down a street. You know, regardless of what they have to go through in life to get there, they don't deserve you deciding for them how, when, and where. You know, I think they're quite capable and very intelligent people. Even still, they might have a bit of mental or physical disorder. They're still a functioning human being. They still live. They still breathe. They still eat. They still see. They still hear. They still smell. They do all the same things. It doesn't matter. You know, it's unfortunate they've been placed in a different body that, you know, society always looks down upon, or kind of, you know, shrews away because they think that it might be contagious. You know, the only contagious thing that I find in today's society is ignorance. Ignorance is the most contagious and downward spiraling motion that you could possibly send out to the world, right? Yeah, and you know, like a friend of mine, I asked her, I said, she's on a disability. Okay, so she gets disability. So I said, let me. And I want to know. I want to do a poll today. If somebody walked up to you, okay, living in your city, the city that you currently live in. So this is going to be the question of the night, and I want people to comment and share their stories about this because it's rampant everywhere, I think. So the question is, if you're sitting at a bus stop and someone, you know, that might have a little bit, they're not well off, or they're, you know, we call them street people. I'm just going to say that, okay? I don't like using that word because they're not street people, they're humans. But a little lesser grade human walks up to you, kind of in a little bit of tattered clothes, whatever, asks you if you could have $2 for a bus fare. Would you give it to him? So I'm going to let you ponder that question for a bit. Would you give him the $2 that he required to get home if you had it? I'll tell you right now, not too many people will agree with that question. And you'll see it for yourself. Um, you'll notice it. People are so fearful of helping another person. Like, why do people fear helping others? Right? I don't understand that. Um, yes, you know, and a lot of people don't look at it like that. You know, like I never see myself. Like, this is about the most longest that I get to see myself in a day, is, you know, staring at my camera phone screen so I can interact with you guys. But, you know, I've had people tell me no. I wouldn't give them a cent. Okay, so now put yourself in their shoes. When society looks down on you already, see how hard it is to get through and struggle in that person's shoes for even a day. See that they eat out of garbage cans. See that they're, you know, having to succumb to actually being almost, uh, my mom used to say it all the time, like ogre type energy. I don't think that's fair for any human being to have to suffer. If I have it to give, then I'll give it. If a person's sitting outside a store even asking you for something to eat, wants money to eat, would you give it to him so that he could buy something to eat? Oh, hi, Keontae. How are you doing, lovely? You know, so if that person was sitting outside a store, asked you for money, and you ask them, what would you need it for? Or they tell you what they need it for, and you give them the money, or wouldn't you? The thing that I learned from a very wise man, and he said this works every time. You can thin out the ones that are addicted to drugs, or they're lying about it. So how I do it, whenever I go and meet somebody, or I run into somebody outside a grocery store, let's say, and they're sitting out there panhandling for money, and they ask you for spare change. And so my response to that would be like this. This is how it would go down with me being in a situation like that. So I'm walking up to a store. There's a gentleman outside panhandling, asking for change, whether it be for food, for whatever. Um, and then they'll say, "Do you have change?" And you'll be like, "No, I don't. I only have my debit card." Um, I don't usually have change on me anyway because my partner usually likes to have his pockets jingling with the change. He likes picking up all the change around the house. He's got the piggy bank stuff full, I'm sure. But I would walk in, and I said, "No, but I'll be right back." I would walk in and go buy the gentleman a sandwich or a piece of fruit or, something, that a bag of chips and a chocolate bar and a drink, but I would bring it back out to him so that I know that he's got at least another meal in his belly. That's what I would do. I get such a mixed response for that, but that person is suffering. Whether they're doing it honestly or ill-intendedly, karma will pay it back. But if they are looking for food or something to eat, you should see the ones that are authentically grateful that they're having a belly full of food um, at that moment. And usually you'll see them tear into it right away because they're so hungry. And that's the depressing part. There's not enough resources for so many people, right? But I'll tell you something. There is a saying in the Bible, and this is really baffles my mind. So this is kind of just like a rant night. This is, you know, um, wondering why people are so selfish in their daily lives that, if it was them, say they find they're going to work one day and they just lose everything just gone. Say, like, for the people that are suffering from that one city that all the fires took over there in the States, like California there, um, everything gone, finished. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to go apply for, some services or whatever you need to apply for it because you're in a desperate state. But then, does that change because now you're less destitute than you were? Is that because the karma is finally coming back to teach you that you can't be a higher class person to another being? We are all equal playing members, because karma will end up putting you as a playing equal member if it so chooses to. And I believe in that strongly. I really strongly believe that the universe will put you back into a position that you just had the most worst time understanding, right? My phone's gonna die, so I'll plug it in here. So I'm gonna probably hold it for now. But yeah, no, it's just an outlook that I have. So you guys get to know a little bit more about me and how I operate as a human being, and the compassionate part, right? Yeah, see, that um was the girl like young? Because you guys, that's another thing. People have to stay in communication. I can't see any homeless person that doesn't have an access to a phone. I think that's just crazy. But yeah, no, I've experienced people as well, right? Do the same thing. But karma will bite you in the ass. And like my mom, and I wish our rest in peace for her forevermore. But she was the type of person, my adopted one. She was the type of person that would look down at people. She would like have a judgment call to make on them at any given time. Right? She would look down her nose like she was better than them all. And then you get a native daughter, this good-looking native little girl, when I was 2, taken, and placed in their home. But she always had a judgment call on that. She's like, "Oh, all you Indians are dirty, blah, 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 blah." So, if you get told that enough times, you might as well just be it, right? So that's what I used to do. I used to irritate my mom by leaving my room an absolute mess when, usually I kept it clean, right? But I would leave the mess. You tell me I'm a dirty Indian, then I'll just be the dirty Indian that you want to raise, right? So that's just, in correlation to that. I'm not going to take you for a walk around my house. You're going to walk with me. Because I got to work and make dinner and everything else. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I just had somebody pull up in my driveway. No, but I had to come over and get some more pop. My house is a little bit messy in the kitchen. I haven't made dinner yet, so it's kind of like stuff all ready for dinner that we're going to make for dinner. But yeah, no, it makes me wonder about how conditioned people are to certain circumstances. Here we go. Here goes the sneezing. Every time I walk past that vent, I sneeze. Oh yeah. So it's 10:01. Oh, I just caught that too. 101. Oops. Okay, so now I gotta put this on the charger somehow. I gotta rotate this. Okay, so I don't know how I'm coming in on you guys, but yeah, no, I was just curious as to what you guys thought about that, right? I'm gonna plug this in somehow. Too bad I can't get it to stay up. Let's see if we can get it to stay up here. And okay. Oh, crap. Hang on, guys. My charger doesn't like staying in this one plug. Hang on. Let me put the fast charger together here. Okay. Okay. There. Is that good? Good. Ah. I need like an iPod stand or something. There. It might be a little bit tilted, you guys, but that way it won't fall. There. Is that better? Yeah. There. So yeah, so it makes me wonder about certain things. Put it up a little bit. There. Now hopefully it'll stay. It won't move. Can't let it go. So, it's just curious. This is not going to work. I'm going to turn it sideways. I'm guessing going to have to look at me sideways here. This isn't working at all, is it? Hi, everyone. I'm 2 hours ahead of you. Okay, so now there's a few of us in here. We're going to, what about a tsunami? I found it interesting. Someone predicted a tsunami. Really? Where? So I'm going to have to kind of figure out a way to keep this standing. And I think I have an idea. Hang on. I got an idea. I don't know if it'll work, but we're going to give it a shot and see. Because I don't have a stand for it, so we're just going to... Yeah. Jimmy jacked it. There we go. We got it. Oh. Okay, so... Hang on. We want the camera going the other way. There we go. Oops. Okay. There. We figured it out. I figured it out how to keep this one standing up. Yeehaw! Okay, so, enough babbling on, but, I look at it totally different than most people, and I'm grateful for it. So we're going to pull the cloud cards. We're going to do a mini read, because I still have to make dinner. It's like after 9. Like, my day has just been, like, bombarded with all kinds of different things. So we're going to play with they're called Clo. That's the box that it came in. I think the colors are really gorgeous on the cards. And here's my instruction booklet that came with it. And can anybody read that? Can you tell me what it says? Anyone? Anyone know how? Read Chinese? So I did find the actual English version of it online, so I printed them off. So I want to get to learning these guys and get comfortable using them, right? I think they're really cool cards. These ones are definitely great for introspection of yourself, of, your current energy levels, or just stuff that you might be working through on a healing process. Gives you insight into, what movements or which way to move kind of thing in them. And they're amazingly, like, the colors are just great. We have a wild card in here, so, anything goes kind of card. So we're gonna do this. They're oracle cards, by the way. So just so you know. Damn, I look good again today, guys. I'm looking better every day that I challenge myself. I even started a different makeup regime, a cleansing regime, and you'd never guess that I used to be a meth addict at all. So that's the best part. It didn't. It helped me to open Pandora's box, just like LSD or acid or something. knock on wood, right? But some people, it doesn't match their body chemistry. So you'll see them with lots of like pockmarks and stuff on their face. But I never ever experienced that, and I was lucky. I was lucky to be able to get in and get out of that scene. But it did open Pandora's box for me, and I'm grateful that it did. But it wasn't a reason to continue using once I did a lot of my healing. I wasn't masking anymore, so I wasn't needing it, right? So that was the bonus part of it all. So we want to get some good introspective messages tonight, positive and the negatives. We don't like to have any off-balanceness. So I sort of give us a general reading tonight for all of us, all the viewers. So that's for Daisy, for Ashley, for Keontae. And I don't know who the other fourth person is that's watching, but we're going to see what happens here. Hair memo. Okay, so how I'm told to do this, I'm going to, by the instruction manual, is what I'm going to do. Okay. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Oh. Alright, so here's our 3 cards that we want. They all came in reverse, so I guess I should put them in order. So the dark. I need my book. My book of explanation. Yeah, okay. I need my seeing eyes. Where's my eyes? I lost my eyes again? Oh, there's my... Found my eyes. So now you get to see me in some wonky little glasses right now. So don't take notice, okay? Because they're reading glasses. I'm going blind, okay? I'm just kidding. No, I have a hard time reading. So we have what? The dark, the light. So we got the mixture of the dark and the light together. Now look at that, people. Like, how much more does that talk about doing your reflecting for both sides, the positive and the negative, right? So they're both needing to be looked at. The dark side is to be looked at because it's usually a little bit harder to deal with. Oh, I see. Okay. So this is your light and your dark energy that a lot of people introspectively don't understand. So when this is off balance and it's not working, you know, something's not working to actually balance the two, this would be a better card layout when you have the one up and one down. So dark energy is always thought as to be a negative. It's not really a negative. It's just the energy that you've put away for a while that you can't, oh my hair, that you haven't looked at in the dark crevices of your soul, things that you haven't remembered, that you're going to start remembering. And then you have the light to actually help with the process of lightening up both the stuff that you really don't want to look at, you know, to get the balance. So this would be a better kind of way for it to show up. But it showed up both in reverse. So it's probably meaning there's a lot of work that has to be done internally, you know, when it comes to this stuff and actually taking the time to look at it, that you have time to sit down and just reflect. You know, you don't have to be rushing anywhere to go anywhere just to find that, right? So you can find it within yourself. So anyways, we're going to see, oh, and then we had the bubbles. So everything just isn't floating or it's not going in sync right now. Everything is kind of just, you know, slowly, no, it's not leaking on our side. Slowly the bubbles rise, right? So you're not feeling the uplift right now, that you're kind of feeling kind of bogged down. And just your energy's being zapped kind of thing. Like you're just, you know, just trying to get by with the mood swings and the energy buildup that's kind of bogged you down. So your bubbles are taking a bit longer. Your emotions, whatever it is on your internal that you're asking to reveal itself, is taking a little bit longer to receive that message through that, right? And so basically, you've got your light and your dark that you should be focusing a little bit more closely and paying attention closely to. You know, it's just looking as in trying to find balance, right? So we would like, you know, the cards to be more favorable for each other, but we have a lot of negative negativeness building up, so maybe that's why the dark is coming up, because that deals a lot more with the negative aspects, a darker part of the soul, and then you have the lighter part, right, which doesn't really take a lot of work. So that's maybe why right now you're not floating, is because you're having to look at the darker side of things at the current state of how things are flowing, right? So things are not flowing well. That explains why. Okay, so there's a lot of internal work that needs to be manifested and dealt with before you can actually move forward and have things, on the up and up and happy and fresh and bubbly, like a fresh bottle of pop with that fizz in the back, like that's the best time to have your pop. You don't want it all, kind of drunk and flat, kind of don't want to do nothing, kind of feeling like it's too much work, or everything is balancing just the way it is, just fine. I don't want to screw it up, but when you look at it introspectively, there is a lot that's unbalanced, right? So you have the opportunity now to take the time to go and find that inner peace with yourself and be able to work on some of that darker stuff. We're coming out of a retrograde, so maybe that's why everything is balancing in the opposite direction right now. It seems like everything just kind of, is going hand in hand with everything they do, right? So the actual meaning of these cards now, we're going to go through, and I'll tell you what their translation of it is, okay? They're very good cards to have because it talks a lot about self-reflection. That's why I feel that these ones are. So there's one, okay? Okay, so and we want the light and the dark. Okay, where are you? Oh, where's the wood? So we'll find it here, the light and the dark. Yeah, there are different aspects. Should be coming up here. So these ones are actually really different. Different ways of looking at it. Like it gives you, the card's message plus the intuitive part, right? So the light is that one. So then the dark should be on the next page here. So the light, the dark. Okay. So I got all 3 card meanings here for us to go over. So remember, the dark is trying to find balance and find the wisdom within yourself and to look more deeply. Like she's got those little things coming out of the top of her head, like a tree root almost. So maybe you're trying to plant your roots better, be more grounded. With this energy is not being so grounded maybe for you, but it is grounding you and you don't even realize it is. It could be a time of reflection on things. So the dark is, let nature take its course as always. So let nature take its course as always. Your energy is low, so stop trying to make your schedule full of bursting with visits from friends, relatives, acquaintances, or take the day off and socializing so you can rest. That sounds like some message for me. I need to take a day off. Even if you lead a fast-paced life, you still need to find time to take a deep breath and relax. And yes, we all should be doing this. Haste makes waste. The truth is, you never accept your situation. You need to accept your situation and save your energy for the next step. So whatever situation might be, kind of feeling like you're stressed out about, just let it go for now and let the universe take its course and let the universe assist you in that experience. Right? I know I feel like that quite a bit, and half the time I'm not even doing anything but just stressed because I got 1,000 things running around in my mind that I do have to do or need to get done, right? But I don't end up doing them. Half of them, I'm lucky if I get like 1 or 2 things actually done completely on the list, right? Daisy in the bubble. Daisy, are you in the bubble? Somebody put you in the bubble. Time out. You were timed out in the bubble. Okay, so then we have the light card. And the light card is just a shining, like it says, lead everything yourself and prospects for the distant future. So making game plans. See, like I was saying later, I have a dream of what I want to be doing like a few years from now, and it's taken me 4 years to get to this point. From the start of ever, making a commitment to opening up like a rehabilitation house or a facility with Karen's home, right? Karen's house. and that's what I would name it, is Karen's house. And then it would allow addicts to come in, um, be on the on the up and up. That if they do leave, they leave out of the, stay for like a 2 week program, where they would have doctors and everything coming in and seeing them, but they weren't able to leave the facility for 2 weeks, and no drugs, no alcohol, no nothing. So it would be a cold detox. But the one thing would change is that if they had come with drugs on them, that was their means of medicine until the term was over. That's all, and that was the last thing that they would ever get. And they have to come in with the understanding of that. Not to be bringing in a whole shitload of drugs or anything like that, but they would have enough to get through a weaning off period, as overseen by the doctor, right? Because it's not the greatest stuff to come off of. So, with that said, that relates to mine, what I was talking about earlier. So there's some of my energy in these cards already. And then we have the bubbles. Bubbles don't float down here. So the bubbles are purification of emotions when you break away from a vicious cycle. So that's changing up of routines, right? So maybe some routines up there are going to be changing, and that people are just like, in toxic relationships or toxic situations that just aren't going to impede any good results. Worries and problems can be beautifully cleaned. A solution will gradually rise if you can work with the obedient feeling without showing off. So you're trying to be, less flamboyant. You don't want to be, buoyant in anything, and no flam, de la buoyant. You know what I mean? You can't just be you and not have to be, an image of, I've got lots of money, so I'm going to dress to the nines, or, I've got no money, so I'm going to dress to the nines. You don't even know. Switch it up a bit. That's all I can say. A person who will support you appears, but it's bad to rely on only one person. So have a network of friends. Have a network of resources that you can take advantage of. Not take advantage of, but be able to make accessible to your situation, and make it more livable, so it's a lot of insight. Some situations come to us when we don't even realize they're even there half the time, right? Put my glasses on. If there's any questions into that reading, you're more than welcome to ask them now, and we can get some clarifying cards. If there's a situation that resonates with you as far as the cards that came out, that would be great to let me know, and we can pull some cards in regards to those. If you want a clarification on your situation that may popped up that resonated for a situation that you're dealing with, right? Because I think there's quite a few viewers that are going to be wanting to comment about this video. And don't forget to like, share, and comment on the videos. I really appreciate the support. I'm just bending them back because it got a little bit overbent. They're still really tough. I've only had them for a week, and I've only used them probably 6-7 times. But yeah, I love the cards. They're really cool. They're long. They're really long though, and it's hard to shuffle because you got to have like long fingers and long hands, right? Just to get it right. So that's the energy read that I did for you guys. That's basically all that I have for you for now. If you want to book a private reading, don't forget to hit me up at shamanemmy@gmail.com. And you can send your donations to www.paypal.me/Mystic Shaman 33. And I hope Daisy can just pop that into the chat there. It is in the description box if you can find it in the chat. So any donations would be great. If you want a donation reading, then send your donation. Where's that? Where's that little paper there? Oh. So the donation, the prices for readings, just so you guys know that once you make your payment, when you do make your payment, put it in for the amount that's for the read. That way it's easier to track, and your name will be written beside it when I receive it. So the 15-minute read's just for a regular tarot, which means just a general reading, 10-10. If you want me to use oracle cards for a more in-depth, in-truth reading, then it's 1551. So it's just a mirror, because my name also, Emmy, is mirrored. It's Earth, Mother, Mother Earth, right? So it's all in correlation to how it backs everything up and is in sync to go backwards, forwards, right? So a 30-minute will cost you $25.52, and oracle will cost you $30.30. 45 minutes, up to 45 minutes. So if you pay for a reading for 15 minutes, you get 15 minutes. If you want to prepay the whole amount, then that's fine. If you only book for 15 minutes and we happen to go over, I'll ask you before we continue. If you can put the payment in, then we can continue with the read. It's like pay as you go, right? 45 minutes is $37.73, so I give you almost like a $5 discount on that. For oracles, it's $42.42, and 1 hour is $45.54 for a regular tarot, very in depth. And then for the oracle, it's $51.51. So if you end up going over, if you're doing like a couple reading, or a twin flame, or lost love, or love relationship ones, those ones can usually run easily into an hour when you're trying to get lots of information. Or if you're even trying to get like a general, not really a general, but an in-depth drawing of what your personality or anything is like, we can pull in some numerology as well as, to fill. So additional increment of times is $15 per 15 minutes. For emergency readings, I have not decided on what pricing I'll do. I was probably thinking like $50 for emergency results within 24-hour reading return. 24 to 48 hours before it'll be a turnaround for you to actually view. Because sometimes my readings do actually go very long, as you notice, as some of my videos are. I'm going to have to copy that hair color. Oh, well, hey, it's there to be had. It's black cherry. I look like a cherry bomb. No, I love it. I've had my hair this color. But it won't actually give you, like I've got like different tones throughout it, right? So, there's different tones in mine. I do my own hair, I cut my own hair, I dye my own hair. Like it's all just me. No, I do love it though. It's a fabulous color, I really do. But I have like undertones and everything from when I used to dye my hair before. So I get the undertones too. So yeah, so I love my hair. It's gorgeous. So the emergency ones are 24 to 40 hours for a turnaround. You can either do that live or I can do a video for you, but usually emergency ones I'd rather do live so you get the information right away. Okay, Ashley, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to send your donations to Shaman Emmy. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like, comment, and share the video, please. Thanks a lot, Ashley. We'll see you soon. Thanks for stopping in, girl. It's been a blessing. So let's check out the chat here. I haven't seen any of my chat tonight. I've been like playing. It's a definite red, yes. Black cherry, I like it. Yeah, they took it actually off the market, and then I was like everywhere looking for it because I needed to do my roots, right? And I couldn't find it anywhere, and I've got like 1 inch, probably about an inch root coming out because I don't dye my hair like all the time. Like, see, you can start seeing it's coming through again. But I don't dye my hair all the time, right? I like to give it a break and a resting period of at least a month or until the roots are, a good inch before I'll dye my hair again because then you don't get like the fried look, which, mine kind of has a little bit, but that's just the split ends. I got to give my hair another trim. But, this is how I haven't had my hair this long in a long time. I really like it. But yeah, so we're going to be doing Friday Frenzy tomorrow. We're going to do random number draws for people to be able to get a free reading in the chat. They have to be live subscribe or be in the live show for this draw. We're just going to draw for, I don't know, something crazy. I haven't figured it out. Maybe I'll put like a pirate hat on my head or something stupid. Draw out of it and maybe get, if they want a free reading or whatever. We'll do the 1 card again tomorrow for support. But if they want anything above that, my shoulder's aching again. I have a really bad shoulder too, by the way. It just pulled up. It just gives me pain all the way down my arm, like a pinched nerve or something. But yeah, so Friday Frenzy, we're going to probably do a draw for something. I haven't decided what the draw is. It's going to be a mystery draw. We're going to do a grab bag kind of thing. And so I'm going to set up that stream tonight. And it's going to be a draw for a mystery bag of goodies. Right? So we'll see what's in that bag tomorrow. So anything else? I'm going to get heading soon. We've been here doing this an hour. I'm trying to stay away from like the 2-hour ones because I got, more things to do tonight that I have to get done and finished and completed. Um, but, you know, we're going to do a grab bag kind of, you know, random draw tomorrow. I haven't picked the time. I don't know. What is your guys' schedules like? Because when I book these streams, when I actually do my live stream, what is the best time frame for you guys to be able to be part of it? Is it like during the daytime in my hours? Or is it your time? I don't know. I'd like to know where you guys are all from so we can kind of coordinate it so more people can actually attend and visit. I think it was in the late afternoon, early evening. I thought was a really good time to do it, like around 6:30 was what I was guessing. So that gives me some time to get things together for tomorrow for the draw. So I'm thinking 6:56. You know, like I pick odd numbers, like mirrored ones, like 6:09 is 9:06 backwards. You know what I mean? It's you flip it, whichever way you flip it, you still end up with 6:09 or 9:06, right? So it mirrors itself. So that's what I try to shoot for. I like to do the mirroring part in numerology. I pick my numbers strangely. Um, so it's 11:27 there now. Okay, so you're 2 hours ahead. Okay, so doing this, say, at like 6 would probably benefit everybody the best then, I'm guessing, right? Doing it like earlier in the evening, like around 6 p.m., so that would be like 9 o'clock your guys' time. Is that a better time to do it? It is 9:30. 9:30 where I am. 9:30 a.m. Or I mean p.m. I'm not in the a.m. yet. It's 9:30 where I am. So I'm thinking at 6 o'clock is probably the better of the routine doing, right? So just let me know. We'll shoot for 6:30. I'll put that in my agenda. Okay, Google. Here we go. We're going to get Google involved here. I don't know if Google will open though. Okay, Google. She's sleeping. She must have fallen asleep to those damn crickets that were playing earlier. Okay, so we'll set it up for tomorrow for 6, between 6 and 6:30, depending on how my technical support goes and getting the streams ready in time. I'm going to actually set it up tonight so I don't have to worry about that tomorrow. So it'll be a live stream notification given when it's about to go live. I will share it through Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus as well, as where I share my links for my videos. So at least they're out there. People can still watch them even after I finish doing the live link. Did you do a reading today? No, I didn't do any readings today. I actually took a break from doing readings today. I was supposed to do one for a girl from Facebook. I haven't had a chance to get hers. She was going to come here and stick in for the live feed to find out an answer about a situation she was going through. But I'm going to leave that up to her. It's totally her call. She wants to have her reading done, right? So yeah, so with that, I guess it's time to say adios from the other side of the world. Coming at you from Surrey, British Columbia, this is Shaman Emmy signing off. Have a good one, everyone. Love you all. Bye.